right. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of TVC Breakfast. I am Veronica Danny Boy.
And I'm Ibrahim Shita. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. We have an array of issues we'll be looking at this morning, talking about NLC. And they're saying subscribers need to prepare for a boycott of the 50% tariff hike by telecoms. And they're also still talking about the fact that there is a budget of 8 billion naira just earmarked for sensitization. They are querying that as well. So these are some of the issues we'll be looking at this morning. NLC taking center stage.
Absolutely. So it's a whole lot. It's just not about the NLC. The TUC and some other labor unions are saying that, listen, 50% tariff hike, it's a no-no from us.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be more, it's going to pose more challenges on Nigerians, looking at the prevailing economic circumstances.
And that's where we'll begin this morning. Now, the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress has criticized the federal government and telecommunications companies for increasing tariff by 50% amid rising costs of living in the country.
Yes, the Labour described the recent hike of telecommunications tariff as an assault on Nigerians' welfare. It says the decision exemplified the government's apparent preference for prioritizing corporate profits over citizens' welfare. The NLC president, Joe Jairo, said the Labour movement was not against the tariff hike, considering the galloping inflation in the country, but disagreed with the approved rate of increase. Mr. Jairo, who also lampooned members of the National Assembly for not standing with the majority of Nigerians regarding some policies, called for immediate stoppage of the implementation of the hike. The conversation continues with Mr. Jairo at the top of the hour this morning.
Right. Interesting how NLC intends to go about this boycott. I don't know how they intend to go about it, because I've been racking my brain to understand, okay, you want to take a swat, or you want subscribers to boycott telecommunications services and all of it. But how are you going to rally these people around? How are you going to measure the impact of the boycott at the end of the day? How are you going to take, perhaps gather your data to know that, okay, these people did not subscribe, and at a particular day when you told everybody to boycott, everybody just switched off and said, you know what, we are not using our phones today because of the 50% hike and because NLC has said so. So do they still wield that kind of influence with subscribers? How do they even want to cascade disinformation before, if they are not going to use these telecommunications to carry on the message across to everyone? I'm still wondering how they intend to go about it.
I think the telecoms ministry is holding us by a jugular, because we're not exactly sure. Even you, the way you're trying to analyze it, you're not exactly sure how this is going to materialize. Even us, if we say we want to boycott it, how do we go about it? Am I not going to reach out to Veronica in the morning and say, are you at the office already? What are we discussing this morning? And talk to other producers. How do we, rally ourselves just to ensure that the production goes on smoothly? So we have lots and lots of issues. Even most of our guests use Zoom, other facilities to connect to the program to talk about some of the issues that are prevailing in the country. But some of the things that they pegged it upon is the high cost of living. We know it's a given. Since the removal of fuel subsidy, we've been seeing that, yes, the ripple effect, having to go to the market, poor living condition for those who are even low income earners. We don't exactly have middle class. But what we have is the disparity, the gulf between the higher earning, the rich, and then the poor. So how do we now go about the boycott? It's still something
I think they need to expatiate on that, because telecoms, internet, and all of it have become a part of our lives. So except you are saying, okay, everyone go and buy a particular kind of phone, but you still buy, of course, data is life. You still need to buy credit, no matter the kind of phone you intend to use. You still buy credit, so that you can make calls and all of it. So this has come to stay. We are no longer in the age of sending letters like we used to send.
And it's going to take ages.
It will take ages to deliver, even though NIPOST has rebranded and they are now swifter than before. But
it remains that there's still a lag.
There's still a lag. It's not as swift.
Yeah.
As we have telecoms. But let's look at the issues they have raised, talking about the timing, like you rightly pointed, how it is that Nigerians are going through a tough time as it is because of the high cost of inflation, the inflation rate, talking about the high cost of living, talking about even the tariff with regards to electricity. Has that necessarily translated into efficiency as we have been talking about? Will this hike in percentage also translate to efficiency, or it's going to be business as usual? Who is going to monitor all of this, even though the TCC has said that, okay, everything will be, they will ensure that, okay, whatever the hike is, they will show transparency and ensure that everything tailors into efficient delivery of services. But who measures that? Who monitors that? Who holds them accountable?
Absolutely.
We haven't seen that with electricity. Nigerians do not necessarily trust these people when it comes to holding people to account. When they make one promise and say this will translate to something else, we do not necessarily see that because there is seemingly no accountability to ensure these persons are held to book.
Okay, so if we try to cut them some slack, we know that it's a business at the end of the day because they have to also make money. They are using fuel, even, I'm not sure whether they are adopting CNG already or using solar and other renewable energy to power their masts, the system, their offices nationwide. But they also in business. They need to rake in profit.
Yes, we know you are in business.
But if you look at them,
there are other alternatives to raising funds.
Absolutely. But then it is not the first time they are doing this. Recall that in 2013, the NCC conducted a cost study that established tariff bands for telecom services, and then the rates remained unchanged for over a decade, despite increasing operational costs faced by telecom operators. So then fast forward to December 2024, there was the approval of 40% tariff increase, where the NCC approved a 40% increase in telecom tariff effective January 2025. And here we are.
So where was NLC when this agreement was made? Why did they not fight the cause of Nigerians? I'm not speaking with both sides of my mouth, but I'm saying that there needs to strike a balance. They have to strike a balance, and that the people must be at the core of whatever decision we are making. That we want to increase, but 50% is a lot. Why are we not looking at perhaps 10% and ensure that, okay, you can raise funds in any other means that you can? That is what I am saying.
Veronica,
this is too much for Nigerians.
Let us try to look at it from another perspective, because under this new structure, they said the call charges were anticipated to rise from 11 naira to 15.40, 15 naira 40 kobo per minute. SMS will now cost 4 naira will now be increased from 4 naira to 5 naira 60 kobo, and 1 gigabyte data bundle from 1,000 naira to 1,400 naira. So it means that if you're spending 30,000 naira monthly, you're more likely to be spending 37,000 naira for data subscription. So, so it's rather than reviewing it downward, it's going up, even if it's just a kobo. But do you feel that some Nigerians will be able to afford this?
Now, for those who are running businesses, this cost still goes back to the customers.
That's right.
Because you need to purchase items and all of it. Everyone will have to afford it one way or the other, because like I mentioned earlier, telecoms have become a part of our daily life. You need to speak with your parents. You need to speak with your children. There are some schools that use data for lectures, talking about, we now do hybrid trainings and teachings all of it, because we say we are going digital, because that is where the world is headed. Now, how are we making it accessible for everyone? That is what we should be thinking about. We've been talking about digital economy. Are we also looking at the impact and implication of this? These are the critical issues. The National Assembly needs to sit down. Like the NLC has said, they were quick and swift to, approve this in just a month. And then when it came to NCC and all of them, National Assembly, I am putting all of them in one box as it is. He was swift to agree to all of this now in 1 month. Now, how about the minimum wage of 70,000 naira? Now, this is what the NLC is saying, that it took you a year to come to an agreement on that. Can we put the average Nigerian at the front burner of any decision we intend to make?
That's right.
That is my concern. These people hold these offices saying they want to serve Nigerians, but it's obvious that the decisions they are taking is not necessarily in the interest of the Nigerian.
At the end of the day, they are private businesses and they need to make money. That's what they'll tell you.
Absolutely. Nobody is saying don't make money.
What is best for business. So I feel it's just for the government to intercede on behalf of Nigerians.
That's why I'm saying that government says they are there to serve the people. Now serve the interest of the people. 50% is not what everyone can afford. That's what I'm saying. Cut it down. Cut it down.
So I think at the end of the day, there should be much more stakeholders engagement because the way we are talking, I know it's very painful, but we just have to comport ourselves because it's quite painful.
Why are we here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's paining us, like we can feel the impacts already because of the current situation. So,
absolutely.
We won't talk like, yes, we are so angry and all of that, but, we just try to moderate it professionally. But this is more than what we feel. I mean, the way we say it is even beyond the way we feel it. So, speaking on behalf of Nigerians, because if we allow Nigerians to get on the street because of this, it might be very, very difficult for either the government or the private businesses to even thrive at the end of the day. I like the fact that you refer to digital economy when we are saying that we want to get everyone on board, break the divide between those who are connected and those who are underserved, those who are having access to the internet, to have. To learn, to transact businesses and all of that. Fintechs are coming up, getting the unbanked, So it's just a holistic of all of this. And we believe that when the NLC president who is going to be joining us at 8 a.m., that's Joe Ajaero, we believe that some of these questions, as to the accountability, stakeholders engagement, consumer protection, we hope that it help us, shed light on all of this.
Absolutely, and we'll be looking forward to that conversation with Joe Ajaero later today at about 8 a.m. in our Abuja studio. But let's quickly bring you up to speed with what is happening across the country and perhaps around the world. The wife of former Deputy Senate President